welcome to tonight's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. Tonight we have local horror movie, just all around actress and cool person, Erin Ryan. Erin?
Hi. Happy to be here.
It's funny that I met you through some of our other mutual friends, and it's funny because I get other people who now are like, oh man, I like these local movies, and there's this girl who's in all these movies. I'm like, Erin? They're like, yeah, she's great. I'm like,
yeah, I show up in a lot of places.
Yeah.
I've had go ahead, sorry.
Oh, you have I want to say almost astronomical amount of movie credits.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been really fortunate to work with a few directors who are really super prolific, or at least they have that in the past few years. And they just keep recasting me things, which is really nice. I think they like a core group of people to work with. And I'm lucky enough to be one of those people. So it's been good.
Oh yeah, it's funny because I was talking with Sean and Ryan, and we were talking about you,
Yeah.
and we were like going, the fact that you know, for the level of movies you bring a lot to even just the smaller movies that you're in. You bring everything to it to kind of put forward, and everybody, you know, it's funny because like I said, I have people that didn't even know that I was, you know, knew you or anything like that, and they're like, oh yeah, there's like this Ryan girl, you know, Erin girl is like, yeah, she's great, and like everything she does.
You're gonna make me cry. No, thank you so much. I take everything pretty seriously. I'm figuring if people, you know, cast me in something, and it's something I really love to do too. So I like to put everything I have into it, you know, because otherwise, why am I there, you know, if I'm not giving my all?
I took last year, me and Tina went and saw you when you did Slaughterhouse Slumber Party.
Yeah.
And you know, she had never seen like that level movie in a theater and stuff like that with the and Jason was the one that invited me over there. And
yeah, he's great.
And it was funny because that was our first time actually meeting in person. We'd been talking for years online, and I used to always give him crap because I told him I don't hug people. And the first thing he did was he had to come up and hug me, and I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah, he's a hugger. He's a sweetheart.
Oh, he's a great guy. And but we went and seen that movie, and I don't want to give much of it away but I have never laughed so hard in a movie until you were like, nope, still not you.
I am so flattered that you love that line. Yeah, it was just one of my only like aside lines that was just me, and I was like, I gotta punch this. I gotta punch it so hard. So I'm so glad that you connected with it because I was worried.
that was so funny, and the worst part about I had just taken a drink, and I'm like,
oh no!
It was like almost. It was like oh
no!
And it's funny because that's what all the. Hi, Lucy. You found the light there. Yeah. So, and it's funny because that's other people who've seen the movie. That's their like one of their favorite. Like when she comes up, and goes, nope. I was like,
nope, can't do it. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for that. I love that movie. I had such a good time filming. It was just pretty much 5 days full of just us, just the cast and the director and the crew in a house in Toledo, and it really was like a big slumber party. And it was super cool. I've never experienced anything like that in my life, just friendship and fun and creativity, and it just felt really good to do, and I'm so glad that I did it.
Well, you can tell because, you know, when you see some people, especially, you know, the I know they're super low budget, no budget movies. You can tell some people are just there just to try to get their 5 seconds on screen, whatever. Sure. And then you get the other people who just are having a blast. And you can tell in your movies that you're having a blast doing what you're doing. and having
Thank you.
fun. And
Yeah.
well, it was me, I think it was me and Sean were talking about was it Watch This? I was like, I
Mhm.
didn't even know that was you in the
Oh,
movie.
good.
And
Good, good, good.
until like much later, because I have a copy and you signed it, and I'm like, where's Erin in this movie? And we're like, oh, she's the D.
Yeah, I love it. That's actually I love acting of all kinds. And I've loved every one of my roles I've ever had. So I've been lucky that way. But I really love creature work, especially when I get to be some sort of creature, because I find it like super challenging. Because it's like easier to connect with a human character, obviously, with everybody's feelings and emotions. Like you can kind of like be like, okay, this person's in this situation and I felt this way before. But connecting with a creature is like really difficult.
Yeah.
So, and I love, my favorite, one of my favorite actors ever is Doug Jones.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm obsessed with his career. And I love how when you see a creature in a movie, you can't tell it's him. Like sometimes you can't tell. Now I know I've seen him in so many things, I can kind of tell his body type. I'm like, oh, that might be Doug Jones. But for a long time, nobody knew who he was
No.
until pretty much The Shape of Water, I think.
Yes.
And then they were like, oh,
Yeah, he stood up. Well, I've been a big fan of Doug Jones because I mean he was Abe Sapien. He was
mhm,
well, he's recently he's Saru on Discovery. Um,
right.
he was on Buffy. He was, he's been everywhere as a character actor and
Yeah.
a suit actor or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And me and my buddies are big Hellboy fans, and I was like, man, that's so I started looking into his older stuff, and
Mhm.
then he, when he does stuff out of the suit, you're just like, that doesn't feel right. I mean, he's great,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
still doesn't feel
You're like,
right.
where's your gear, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, he's incredible. And if I could do stuff like that the rest of my life, I'd be really happy. But um, yeah, I love being a demon. Super fun because I think I'm pretty nice. So being a demon is difficult, but yeah, I had a great time. Sean and Ryan are great. I really enjoy working with them. It's been a minute since I've worked with them, but they're always super chill on their sets and good guys. So
Oh yeah.
be cool to work with them again soon.
I was joking around with Brian last time I talked to him. I said I wanted I bought like one of the like Kickstarter perks. I can't remember what I actually bought, but they had like for all these different movies they were working on. One of them was She Burns in Hell, the Carrie stuff,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, you
Mm.
can be at the prom, and I was like, I kind of want to pay just so they could try to put me in the prom in the 1970s.
Like make you blend in.
Yeah, make me blend in. Make this weird looking guy over here blend into high school. They're like, nah, we would have just
I
made
love
you
it.
like a shop teacher or something like that as a chaperone.
You're like, I'll take it, sure.
Yeah. I keep telling everybody, it's like I want to do, because I'm getting to the point now where I know that you know I can be in movies and stuff like that, but I'd never be anything big. I'm not going to stand out. I was like, I always wanted to do one role. I want to be the guy at the beginning of the horror film that tells the kids they're going to die. I want to be the gas station
I love it.
attendant. That's what I want.
Yes,
I was like, it'd
yes,
be funny
that
if
would
I
be
could
super rad.
get all the local guys just to cast me as that guy. So this
Just the
for
same
like
guy.
just the same
Yeah,
guy that appears in every movie as the same character. Just
that would be awesome.
so
I'm like, oh,
it's,
it's Paul.
it's in the same universe, right? It's all in it's
Right.
Ohio. It's Ohio. It's the same universe.
Yeah. A disturbing amount of horror movies take place in Ohio,
Oh
which I
yeah.
love.
Well,
So,
we used to laugh because my niece, well, my wife's niece lives in Crystal Lake.
oh, weird.
She lives over
Okay.
Midway. And the fact is
Okay.
that Midway is where Crystal Lake is, and that's only like what 20 minutes away from Springfield, which is what
Uh,
Springwood from.
yeah.
Yeah. So Jason and Freddie are kind of neighbors. So,
Yeah. I hope they're getting along okay.
well, it's like we always
Yeah.
made fun of the Freddie versus Jason movies. They're like, well, I'm like, if you go in the territories, there's Crystal Lake and there's Springfield. So yes,
Right.
they can be
Right
close.
there.
Yes. Oh man, and it's funny. We were talking about, you know, you getting cast in so many movies, and they're like, man, they're like, I've talked to people who like, they go, oh, we just write roles for Erin
Oh,
specifically. I was like, literally, I
yeah.
wrote, before the pandemic hit, I had wrote a movie, and I had you in mind for one of the main characters.
Oh my God. Thank you.
And I had you and Barbara Crampton and Tiffany Sheffis were supposed to be the main three people.
What?
And
Why
I
am
actually,
I next to them?
yeah, I talked to Tiffany, and I even talked to Barbara, and Tiffany was like, I'd do it. I was like, and
Oh
then
my God.
quarantine hit, and I had all this free time, so I was working on it, tweaking it and stuff. And I started watching a lot of TV just because there's nothing else to do.
Right.
And I found a movie on Amazon that was really close to my movie.
Oh,
So
okay.
I probably threw away 3/4 of the movie, and then I
Oh,
rewrote it with a completely different storyline, but the three main characters were still there.
oh,
Yours was still there.
cool.
You were one of the last people still alive at the end.
Cool. Cool. All right.
But I completely threw the original ending out and everything else like that. And then I kind of told people the whole, and they're like, I love that ending. I love that movie better. They're like, I need to see that. I'm
Oh,
like, I guess I need to eventually try to make this.
yeah. Heck yeah. I'm in. Let me know. I'm being completely serious.
Yeah. Yeah. You were a witch, and
Very
you were
cool.
one of the main three. And
Okay.
it was funny. Like I said, I talked to, and they were like, yeah, we're just, what would it take to get? I'm like, I've never been to that level where like the people
Yeah.
that I was like wrote it for were like, yeah, we'd do it. I'm like,
What?
uh,
You're like, what do I do?
yeah, and then Jason's like, if you've got them, you know, you can get a Kickstarter going and get this made. I'm like,
Yeah.
and to be honest though, when it comes to my amounts of time, I keep myself like super busy. That's the only thing that,
Right.
because literally my 2 down days are Thursdays and Sundays, and I'm usually
Right.
busy from the day I get up till the time I go to bed, really,
Mhm.
really late at night.
Yeah. Wow.
I might do it, but I also got one that I got like an anthology type thing I'd like to do, because then I can shoot in
Okay.
a day or two, and
Yeah.
then shoot another one and another one and another one and another one, and then
I love anthologies. I think they're so fun. I think one of my favorite movies ever is Creepshow. So like I love, and yeah, just they're so much fun. And I've been in an anthology, like Scarewaves was an
yeah,
anthology for sure.
I got
That was
Scared
super
Away from
fun.
Home.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like it.
Oh, it's great. I got it on the shelf. It's I don't know. I've got so many DVDs. It's over there. I can maybe see it.
I'd have to like really like get my eye like super close. I don't think so. My
Yeah,
eyes are bad.
mine are getting bad too. If I have to read anything, I got to wear glasses.
I'm very Magoo. Like I can't, and I've always been Magoo since I've been like 7 years old. So I can't see. I can't see very well. Even though I have contacts in, I just can't.
I about 2 years ago, I read just massive. I just read constantly,
Yeah.
and I got to where I got slower and slower at my reading,
Mhm.
and I'm sitting there going, I just start getting headaches and everything starts getting blurry. And
Yeah.
then one day Tina goes, try these, and she gives me a pair of cheaters, and I'm like,
Mhm.
boom, wow, I can read. And I was like, I can read for hours, and I'm like, so I consume comics and books and magazines again. So
Yeah.
that's
Do you
literally
have like 80 pairs of those glasses everywhere though? Like, do you buy a bunch of them and just put them different places? Because I know people that have readers do
no,
that.
I got 2 pair. I had 3. The dog ate one.
Oh boy.
Um, I keep my little if you look right there, that's my spot. That's my couch
Okay.
that I set up my spot, and I have my
Okay.
stack of stuff and my comics, my book, whatever I'm reading, and my glasses are all sitting right there.
Nice. Yeah.
Because
It's your designated area.
I'm a creature of habit,
Me
horrible
too.
habit, to the point it drives Tina nuts.
Oh yeah.
She's
She's like, too much structure.
Oh, I have set things I do every day, and I do it every way. This almost the exact same way.
Yeah.
I got to touch OCD. What I got to touch.
Oh, I get that. I have always been, I think you and I were talking about this recently. I am a creature of habit because I have so much anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was born with anxiety. Like I can't remember a time when I wasn't afraid or, or nervous. So routine and all that helps me like feel like I have some sort of, it's like comfort in a world that I feel is like super chaotic. So that helps a lot.
Yeah, I am so set that I never set an alarm clock. I get up almost the same time every day. I go to bed
Wow.
about the same time every day. I get up, I get me and Vince, I get him up, I get him ready. I do that every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I go to the gym from 11:30 to about 1:15. And I do that 3 days a week. I go to the shop. I do, and it's almost always the same stuff, the same day, same everything.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I like order.
That's good though. I like structure too. So I admire that. I need more of it probably.
You look back here and you wouldn't think there's any order, but there kind of is order, especially this stuff right here. These are all in order.
Yeah. I believe you. Yeah, I have a wall full of books and comics and posters and general Halloween stuff, and they all have a general like they're all similar. They're all organized. So I know what you mean, but it looks crazy. It looks like somebody's attic over here, but I know where things are. So
that's funny because people come and look at my books, and there's literally like I have books on Saturday morning cartoons. I have books on like He-Man. I have like books, just novels. So I have like stuff on Dungeons and Dragons and horror novels.
Yeah.
Then I have books on, demonology, exorcisms. And they're like,
the essentials.
What?
Obviously.
And I always tell anybody, you need a reference book. I probably have a book that references what you need for.
There you go. That's awesome. Well, I know who to go to if I need demonology references. Or I'm sad to say I don't have anything like that. Well, Christmas is coming up, so
there you go.
That might be a good thing.
Well, I have one that one of my buddies got me, and I want to say it's from the 1940s, and it is a super old looking, it's all beat up, but it is a book on witchcraft and demonology. And it looks like something like it looks like a movie prop. It doesn't look like a real item until you start reading through it, and it's got all the actual information. But
that's rad.
Oh, I got goofy stuff.
That's super cool.
Okay, and we're way off topic here. We're
sorry.
That's all right. This is how our episodes go. We used to have Tina sitting off to the side who would go, nope, you're off topic. Bring it back. Like,
wrap it up. Yeah.
She was my continuity person. Would always.
That's cool.
Well, okay. I got a interview coming up either. So we're filming this on a Sunday. So on Tuesday, I got an interview with Tanya Atomic. And you guys have worked on some of the same movies together.
Yeah.
And
I think so.
Yeah, I think you guys did Scare Waves. I think she's in Scare Waves. I don't know if you were worked the same thing, but
I don't think it's the same segment. But yeah, I knew her name and I knew that she was involved in it. Yeah, and I follow her on Instagram, so she's pretty cool.
The reason I found her, nothing to do with anybody on here. She did the sequel to Manos: Hands of Fate. So
no, like she directed it.
She does Manos: The Return. She directs it, and she's one of the brides.
What?
Yes.
No.
I was like, hands down, you win today. I told her.
I missed. Cool.
Yeah. She goes, are you a fan? I'm like, I'm a fan of Manos because it's so bad. And I've seen it, I don't know how many times on like Mystery Science Theater and Riff Tracks. And then I was like sitting there because I was like, Manos: The Return. And then I found her name, and then I found her because she popped up at people you may know on Facebook. And I'm like,
yeah.
Click, and I clicked on it, and I started talking to her, and I'm like, hey, would you like? She's like, hell yeah, I'll be on the show. I'm like, sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah, she seems super cool.
Yeah,
and she does crazy stuff with makeup, which I like.
Well, like I said, you've done just a stupid, like phenomenal amount of movies. And
Mhm.
how did you get that many movies in that short a time? Do you just go one, like directly into another one? Or were you
Yeah, so I
filming
think
multiple at a time or something?
so there was a point. Yeah, I mean, I often would film like a couple different ones in a month. That would happen. There was one point in June of 2013 where I was filming 3 different movies,
Jeez.
and I was the main character in 2 of them. So yeah, I think it was Skinless, or The Ballad of the Skinless Pete, A Bulldog for Christmas, and also what was the third? Kill That Bitch.
Yep.
Which is one of Dustin's. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was going back and forth between Dayton and Toledo, and it was just a really insane month. But yeah, I just would. I think that's the thing, is that I work with people who did a lot of stuff, especially from like 2012 to like 2016. There's people that were just always working, and I always had a place, which is super cool. But yeah, I think there's kind of like a boom, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Because
So
this area just puts out a just bunch of movies, and I didn't realize that until because I was friends with Andy Kopp, and that's how I
mhm.
met Henrik, and then Henrik's how I met other people, and then it's just kind of snowballed from there. Um, and Andy was like, yeah, because like I said this before, he's the reason this show exists, is
Oh,
because I
okay.
did a show in Tip City as a public access show, which evolved into this show eventually.
Hmm.
Um, but he was sitting there telling me about all this local horror back then, and this is in the early 2000s. And then, he's like, started doing the stuff at Inglewood, and I started seeing all these movie posters for these upcoming, local guys are like, oh, this Friday, come see Skinless, and I'm like, okay. And then oh man, I'm trying to remember some of the other ones that all of a sudden they're like all these horror directors were doing shows there, and I'm like, I didn't know this. He's like, yeah. And then I did his movie, and that's when I met Henrik and Eric,
Hmm. Oh my
and
God, Whiting.
yeah, why?
Whiting.
And I met those two, and then I was in Bulldog for Christmas.
Yeah.
Um, and it was like, and then I think I met you through that.
Hmm.
And then we were like, okay, and it just kept going, and I just met like all these people, and it's like, oh man, there's this a lot of people working here, and it's like, okay, well, I know this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay, there's this guy and this one and this one. Holy crap! And I'm watching other
Yeah.
movies, and I'm like, that's Dayton. I've been in that
It,
spot,
it's so funny because you wouldn't think that there was this stuff going on. Like, not a lot of people know about it.
No.
And it's very, very cool. I actually tried out to be a part of Film Dayton. I don't know if they're still a thing. I think they're probably still a thing. But I didn't get the job, but it was for a web series. And I remember feeling frustrated with myself that I didn't get the job. And I was just like, I have to find another way. I want to do film, and I know something's going on here. And my friend, my best friend Angela, actually knew Henrik, and she was like, "Oh, I know a guy who's doing movies, and he's casting somebody for a horror movie he's doing," and that was Babysitter Massacre. So that's how I got involved with Henrik, and it was, he works like a madman. He's always working, that man. It's pretty cool. So working with him, that was like a direct pipeline into a lot of opportunities. So, but yeah, you wouldn't think that there was a lot going on, but it's just, you have to know where to look, and uh, yeah, that's basically it. Just have to know where to look.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it was funny because I was like, okay, man, Dayton's big, and then I start seeing like, when I was like, oh, Erin's doing this movie, and I'm like looking where, and I'm like, holy crap, that's Toledo. And then I'm looking at,
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, there's a guy out of Columbus, there's a guy out of down by Cincinnati, and I'm like,
yeah.
man, there's a lot of people filming movies. And
Weird. Go ahead. Sorry.
then I'm sitting there going through like not as much because they took a lot of them off Prime, But Voodoo, I was going through Voodoo one day at the shop, and I'm like, okay, I know that person because it says,
Mhm.
star, actors. I'm like, I know that person. I know that person.
You're like making connections.
Yeah, I'm like, when did this
Yeah.
movie come out? I'm like, all right, holy
Yeah.
crap. So
Yeah.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say there's a lot of content out there, and I just it's incredible. It's really cool. I think this is a very special town, because it's not like super crazy. Like it's very friendly. Like I think a lot of the people that work in film are very friendly, open people who just want to make good stuff, and it doesn't feel very competitive or like big city or anything like that. And it's a lot of like-minded people who want to make good art. And I really love Dayton for that reason.
Well, like I said, it's funny because being so tight knit with the amount of
Mhm.
people. Because I mean, it's like I'll sit there and like, okay, wow, I didn't know she was in this movie. Okay, she's in this movie too. Or you just start like it's a rabbit hole
Yeah.
thing. You start realizing this how many movies. Like I said, I didn't realize how many movies you'd done. I knew I had a bunch of them over there, but it's
Mhm.
like, oh, I don't even have nowhere near all of them. It's like,
Yeah. I don't think I have all of them, to be honest with you. I don't know where some of them are, but I'm sure if I hunted, I could find all of them. I just don't. I just haven't yet.
I don't even own the movie that I'm in anymore.
Oh,
I loaned it
sad.
out one time and I never got it back.
Oh, sad.
I'll get one eventually. I told Henrik last time, and then he's like, that movie's big in Germany? I'm like, what? How do you know that? And he goes, oh, he gets
Yeah.
the stats. And I'm like, that's weird that movie's big in Germany. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Like,
cool.
okay, sure. I'll take it.
Hey, there for a minute, I was big in France. My
Big
show,
fan.
yeah, for some reason, like 1 week solid. And I know that there's people that will, whatever, but for like a week solid, like I was getting a massive amount of views in France. And I'm
That's
like,
so interesting.
okay, that's cool. Well,
Like,
who's watching
what?
in
Okay.
France?
I mean, that's neat.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
but I don't speak French, but
Yeah, but apparently they like it. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I'd take it.
yeah, that's when I looked at it. And then the worst part about it is that the app that was able to run in France
Mhm.
dropped me for like a while till I
Mhm.
changed. I had to change a bunch of stuff the way I did the show, not this content or nothing, but and then they were put it back up, and now I don't have France no more.
Oh, sad.
I do get
You
Russia
lost
a
friends.
lot.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yeah, I make fun of Russia a lot, and I don't see how
Hmm.
that would.
Interesting.
We have the ongoing. I mean, we were just talking. We were just talking crap about Russia an hour ago for some reason. I don't know why.
That's awesome.
Oh, I know why. We just watched. Me and my two of my sons went and seen Eternals, and
Okay.
it's PG-13 pretty much everywhere, but Russia it's NC-17
Oh, wow, really?
because there's an openly gay character,
Oh, I see.
and they're
Okay.
like, nope, can't have openly gay
Like
people
not.
in movies. That's rated R. What you doing, bud?
Wow.
I'm one of them. Like I said, one of them guys. I gotta keep busy, and I do,
Mhm.
and I only chill out from like midnight to like 2 a.m, and then that's when I read and get shit done.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes late at night is the best. It's all quiet. It's just a good time.
Oh yeah, I'll put stuff on and just in the background and just read or get crap done or edit or whatever. So, and like I said, I got two more interviews this week, and they're both out in California, so I got to record them at like 11 o'clock at night, so I can get them at
Wow.
8 o'clock. And
Yeah.
but
The time zones are the worst.
and then today throws me off with the daylight savings time. I hate that.
Oh, I know. I was freaked out. I was like, I'm glad we got an hour more of it. I forgot. I completely forgot. And it's funny because it happens every year. You'd think I'd remember, but I was like, oh my God, like blindsided. So dumb.
I was on the couch last night and I was reading, and I looked up and it was like 1:50, and then I kind of blinked and I went like this, And I look up, and it's just 1:30, and I went, wait a minute, I can't be right. What?
Yeah.
And
What?
then I was like, oh yeah, the daylight savings time. It starts at 2:00.
Yeah. Whoop. Yeah.
Then I tried to wake up too early this morning, and I was like, I don't need to get up at 7:45.
I woke up today and cleaned a bunch. I went to the store and cleaned, and that's what I did today because it's my day off. So that's just like probably catch up on things around here. The dishes are about 3 feet above the sink. So
I got laundry to do. I'm the I like I said, I lurk in the basement. So my TV's over there, all my stuff sets up here. Our mother-in-law my mother-in-law lives with us. So we give her the middle floor because we have 3 floors. And so I get this floor, my mother-in-law gets kind of the middle floor, and then Tina gets the upstairs with our bedroom. Okay. And Vince has his little room upstairs, but I get the laundry room, and so no one has to drag the laundry downstairs. I do all the laundry. So I'm the drag it downstairs, throw everything in the laundry.
Oh,
yeah.
You're like, I'm the laundry troll.
That's pretty much it. But I don't have to cook, and I don't have to do dishes no more. Well, I cook one day a week, and I don't do dishes though.
That's a good deal. Yeah, that's a good deal. I like that.
Yeah, because I hate dishes. I hate.
Yeah, they're gross.
Yeah, I don't mind cooking, and one day a week is pretty good for me. But except for I don't know what to make on that day.
Yeah. Planning is difficult.
Shoot. All right, off track again. Here we go.
Back to movies.
Go back to movies. All right. What's your favorite? Do you just? I mean, I know you've done other movies other than horror and stuff like that. But you do a lot of horror. Is horror your favorite, or just the one you kind of get lumped into?
Well, it is. I think it's the most common genre around here. I think a lot of filmmakers are making horror movies or have been making horror movies. And but I've always gravitated towards it. It's always been my favorite genre for sure. I love Halloween. I love scary stuff. I love ghosts and, suspense, and it's just drama and monsters. I love monsters. So it just makes sense. Yeah, horror is definitely my favorite genre to work in, I think, because it's really close to my heart. So,
what's your favorite horror movie?
I don't have any kids, but I feel like that's like, what's your favorite child? Who's your favorite child?
We've done that. It's like, what's your favorite child?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm super, super partial to Reanimator. Reanimator is probably up there. I love the performances in it are super fun. Jeff Combs is off the walls and ridiculous. And I love it when actors are like, they're film actors, but they're super theatrical, if that makes sense. And he's one of those actors. Yeah. Like, he definitely brings a lot of like theater. You can tell like, oh, he's a theater actor.
Yeah.
But it's not cheesy. He's just strong, like his performance is super strong. So I love it for that reason. I think the gore is fantastic. It's just all around a really fun movie. I quote it on a daily basis. Nobody really gets it, but that's okay.
See, I guess I got to get away from that. What's your favorite? But like, what's your go-to? Like, if there's nothing else to throw in, you just throw that movie in, and that's the one you watch.
Yeah, I like Reanimator. I like there's so many. I love like the old stuff. So I love Creature from the Black Lagoon. I never like the 54 version of it. I can't like get enough of that, because I just think it's a marvel, first of all, with its like the creature suit, and just the way it's shot is really beautiful. And so I do love that. I don't know. There's so many. I I think people think it's boring, but like Rosemary's Baby is really fun to watch for me. It's definitely very creepy. Yeah, definitely a slow burn, but it's fun to just have on for some reason for me. What else? All the Nightmare on Elm Streets are super fun. Freddy's really funny. So that's fun. So everybody's gonna like be really disappointed, but I am not a fan of Friday the 13th. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, but it's not my favorite. I don't know why. They're fine. Maybe I haven't watched enough of them. I think I've only seen like 5, so I really can't say that I've seen them all or anything, which is sad. I need to probably watch like the later ones because I hear those are fun.
Yeah, especially those kind of when they actually start taking more of the comedic stuff after 6, and they start poking fun. Yeah, that's.
See that? Yeah, I think I'm missing out on the comedy because I do like a lot of comedy in my horror too. So I love like Evil Dead and that whole thing. I love how like they get progressively more ridiculous. Like the first one is like, we're taking this seriously and we want it to be spooky. And the second one's like, we're going to add a lot of cartoonish stuff. And by the time you get to Army of Darkness, it's like, it's a circus now. Like nobody, it's all funny now.
Then you get the Ash versus Evil Dead, and then it's.
It's crazy. I love it. I actually plan on rewatching that soon. It's funny that you mentioned that. I was thinking about that. I was like, I should probably rewatch that. Bruce Campbell's brilliant.
I got to season 3. I got to finish season 3, but I just rewatched it all the way up to where I'm at. So
yeah, it's so good. What else? I love. This is going to sound really weird, but this is really specific. I love everybody loves Vincent Price. I love like House on Haunted Hill, as cheesy as it is, but I really love the remake. Have you ever seen the 1999 remake?
Yes, love that movie. The fact that Jeffrey Rush.
Thank you.
Yeah,
exactly. Thank you, because nobody else really they haven't seen it or they're like, it was okay, and I'm like, it's so good.
I know people who hate that movie, and I don't get it.
I don't get it. I love it.
And Jeffrey Rush is doing, and he said he wasn't doing a Vincent Price, but he is totally nailing a Vincent Price.
He's channeling. I think he said he was trying to do John Waters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I mean, yeah, I can see that, but he's definitely giving off Vincent Price vibes for sure.
Definitely.
So.
That's one of the stories that we tell everybody about his name, because he's Vincent, and we always tell him, it's like, they're like, where'd you get his name? It's like Vincent Price. And they're like, really? Yeah. Like, that's the story for today.
My mom, today it is. My mom actually met Vincent Price in the 70s. He was in Dayton, I guess, doing a play. And she just happened to like meet him after the play. And she said he was like the most gentle man she'd ever met. He was huge, but he was like so gentle and well-spoken and kind. And I was like, that's super cool. Cause my mom's like 5'1" and he was like 6'4". So he was like, oh, hello. Like, it was very sweet.
I heard he was very personable and very just gracious. And
yeah, he seemed like he had a lot of grace for sure.
Yeah, because it's funny because you start getting all these stories now that long after he passed away about how he was like on like the Native American Rights Council or something like that. And you're just like, man, you did not know that until now? I mean, he's been on for 30 years and you're just finding out.
Long time, yeah. So,
me and my kids were talking about the remakes, and I was talking about House on Haunted Hill, 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts is so good.
Oh God, it's great. It's not like the original one, but it's great. Because we were talking about the only one of like that era when they did all those remakes. The only one I didn't much care for was the Nightmare on Elm Street one.
Yeah. What did they do what did they do with Freddy's face that I didn't like? Was it like, it didn't seem like it was a practical effect to me, and that really bothered me.
Well, they also make it look like a real burn victim. And I think, and you're just like, I think when you have the burn makeup of Freddy from 1984, when it's almost a cartoony burn victim, to an actual looks like a burn victim, you're just like, I don't like that.
Yeah, it was like uncomfortable for me, and I was just like I'm uncomfortable with this. And it looked wrong.
Yeah, but I was like, I like the Friday the 13th. I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I like the Hills Have Eyes. I like the House on Haunted Hill. I like was like, all those were fun. I was like, out of all of them, there's only one bad one. But now they're sequels. However, I don't think any of them had a good sequel.
Yeah, not great.
No.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes, I don't know, productions lose their momentum, or something, they switch like directors, or whatever. It's just, and it just seems like it's a cash grab or something, and not really about telling a story anymore.
Yeah, I think at a certain point they're like, well, we got the name. That one made a lot of money. Let's go ahead and put out another one. We'll make a lot of money. Put half the budget down. We should make at least the money we made on the last movie.
Right.
And then everybody hates it,
Right. Because it feels cheap.
That's like, I love the Zack Snyder, James Gunn, Dawn of the Dead. But then when they did the Day of the Dead sequel, which wasn't even a sequel, but that was horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one I've asked. If you could be in any franchise, which franchise would you go for?
Oh my God. Oh, it's hard. Wow. That's tough to think about. Man. I guess I have a real soft spot for like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. I really love the second one. I wish they'd make more dumb movies like the second one. It's not dumb, it's good, but it's so silly. I wish, go ahead.
I had seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre on VHS tape because like the video store when I was a kid, it was never in. They had one copy. And so when I finally got to watch it, I watched it. And then shortly thereafter, they released Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 at the theater the theater here in Piqua. And I got to go see that. And what was it, like 86? So it was like 12. And I'm like, this is nothing like the original, but I laughed my butt off. It's
really funny and silly.
The fact that it's directed by the same guy.
Yeah.
It's in the same universe. And you're like, how do you get from point A to point B? And you go, we're going to take this super serious, dark horror movie with no soundtrack, no nothing. And then we're going to make a comedy out of it.
Right. Yeah. But it was kind of cool because they definitely had like a female lead. Which was super fun. Yeah, she's great. So yeah, I think it'd be cool if you could do something like that again. That would be fun. Also probably maybe the Evil Dead franchise would be super fun, just because, kicking Deadite butt would be super fun. And I don't get to do a lot of like physical stuff. So I think it'd be fun to learn how to fight well. Or a stage fight, but you know what I mean.
Stage fight.
So, yeah.
I tell you the one, and this is dumb. I would love to be in a sequel to Cabin in the Woods.
Jeez. Oh boy, yeah.
Then you got to be.
That's an awesome movie. Yeah. That's an awesome movie, and it's very, very intelligent, very smart.
I took Tina to go see that, and we went in thinking it was going to be a straight, just because the trailers made it look like a straight horror movie.
Yeah.
And then we're watching it, and we're like, "What's going on?" Because all of a sudden they're in. We thought the movie had screwed up.
Yeah,
it goes from the movie to like The Office, and you're like,
what?
Did they screw? We're like, wait, and then it continues, and they're like, oh no, this is the same movie.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, no, this is right. It's such a good movie.
Oh man, but it's fun.
Yeah.
What are you doing, bud?
And it's really. Oh.
You're gonna be happy with that.
And it's very smart, and it's very I love movies that are like self-aware like that. I think that's super fun. It adds an extra element to it for sure.
Oh yeah. Is there any movies like that you haven't done yet that you would really like to try?
Like any genre?
Yeah. Or any that maybe you'd like to go back to see if you can,
Yeah, I think I'd like to do I think sci-fi would be super fun. That would be really cool. I'm actually doing a comedy right now. And comedy's very difficult for me. I know that sounds weird, but like to be funny is actually, it takes a lot of talent. And it's something that I have to like practice. The timing and everything is difficult for me. So that's why when you said that thing about Slaughterhouse Slumber Party, I was all excited. So I was like, oh, good, they laughed,
Oh
because I
yeah.
wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. So yeah, I definitely want to do something sci-fi a la like Alien would be super cool. Like something, maybe not of that magnitude, but something where it's like, a character alone fighting against the odds, like fighting creepy space things. I'm into it. I think that would be super fun. Let's see. I've done horror. I've done some comedies. Action would be fun. I mean, that would be cool. Like a thriller action movie. That'd be fun, just for a change. Yeah, I think those are the only two really that I can think of right now that I have thought about in the past. So I don't know. I'm hoping something like that happens. It's hard to do sci-fi stuff on such a low budget.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, it's like I remember in the early 80s when I first started like really finding out about like shot on video horror and stuff like that. I started like, I was one of them kids that got Fangoria and went in the back, and you had the little ads where you could contact people and they would send you stuff. And I got a bunch of stuff, and these guys were like shooting with no budget and, on their parents' camcorders. And some of these guys were putting out, and you're just like, how old are you? And these guys are like fresh out of high school or still in high school, and they were putting out really pretty good like sci-fi. And it's
right.
And they were just having their friends build sets in like their parents' garages and stuff. And they're like,
right.
Yeah, the way you would set it up is we'd shoot from this angle and it'd be one part of the ship. And then we'd shoot from this angle and it'd be another part of the ship. And then
that whole thing, that whole setting up the shots, like I understand a little bit about it, but I think it's magic. Like I'm not really involved in a lot of that process, but people always ask me all the time, like, oh, you've been in so many films, why don't you direct? And I'm like, I don't know how to. When you direct at this level, you do everything. You direct, you're shooting, you're editing, you're doing. I'm like, I'm not prepared for that. No. Maybe in my old age, but right now I don't have enough information to do any of that. Like, no way.
Oh, man. And it's
go ahead. Sorry.
That's what I love about like current when DVDs started, because DVDs had the commentary track, and you'd listen to the directors and how they made movies, and you never got that before. And it's like, wow, that's like finding out that James Cameron made all the sets on Galaxy of Terror and what they're made out of and how he shot them. And I'm like, this has got no budget, and this guy made that look on that level. It's amazing.
I think at that level where you have like a low budget, it's all about like constant problem solving. Like, oh, okay, so we have to get this shot. It has to look like this. How do we do that? Like, it's just constantly thinking your way out of crazy situations to make something look cool. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work.
I wrote a movie a few years ago, and it was a horror movie that took place in the 80s. And I can't remember who I let read it, but he's like, this is great. I like this. He goes, what's your budget? I was like, I don't have no budget. He goes, there's your problem. He goes, you got to think, how are you going to film this with what you have?
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, I can make my house look like a house from the 80s. That wouldn't be hard to do at all.
Right.
I have an 80s car in my garage, and I have a 70s car in the garage. I can do that. I have, and he's like, okay, that works great. He goes, what people going to wear? And I'm like, and he's like,
yeah.
He goes, if you want it to look like the 80s, he goes, you gotta make it look like, if not, he goes, because even on low budget movies, people nitpick it. You know, if they see
Yeah.
you wearing a smartwatch and you're supposed to be in 1994, they're gonna be like, look at that
Yeah.
guy's wearing a smartwatch.
That's the thing about like acting in I haven't done too many period pieces, but like the thing about actors in tattoos, like you know, if you got to do a period piece, it's hard to like cover up your tattoos if you
Oh
get
yeah.
tattoos. So it's always a sad thing. But yeah, it's you know, you don't think of those things until and the budget gets astronomical too if you have to take care of all of that. If you have to make it look like a different time period, it gets crazy real quick. Um yeah. So
Were
oh, I
you
wanted
guys?
to say I forgot a genre that I'd also like to do would be a psychological thriller. Like I've always really been interested in doing something like what's the movie Fatal Attraction, like something super like thriller like that. I think that'd be super cool, and it'd be fun to explore a character like that.
I always thought I'd like to do a slice of life type thing. Just
Oh, that'd be cool.
just every day, because I mean my life's relatively weird, so I think that I don't know if anybody would
Be
like it.
entertaining.
Yeah, it'd be entertaining.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wrote a script years ago, and the worst part about it is it was called I think I've told you about it a long time ago, but it was Life, Love, and the Pursuit of Giant Size X-Men #1. It was all
Hmm.
about me and my wife's kind of a fictionalized version of our lives.
Okay.
And then a few years ago, I got a Giant Size X-Men #1. I'm like, my story's over. I don't know where to go after this except the
Oh
rest.
no. Yeah.
So it's one I've technically been writing off and on for probably 20 years because
Wow.
yeah, because it would expand over X amount of years, and it was just these people's lives about what they gone through, and you know, just perseverance, and just goofy stuff still kind of happens, even if you're at your lowest point, something goofy and kind of funny would happen, which is kind of what happened in my life. And I thought it would be entertaining, but I might be wrong, because
Yeah.
maybe
Oh
I'm
well,
not that important. Vince, calm
I
down,
think there's
bud.
an audience for that kind of thing. I really do. I think, you know, I think it just takes some time to develop, and I don't give up on it.
Yeah, it's still around here somewhere. I know it's.
Okay.
I'm a physical notebook guy, because I have is my show notes from
Yeah.
everything. I got to keep.
Yeah, I like that too. I like to have a like a planner and a notebook. It makes me crazy. I made a shopping list today on my phone, and I was like, I hate this. Like I need paper. Yeah. So I don't know.
Thinking that, do you know, when you do a movie, do you? I mean, you've got a certain what the director wants you to do. Do you ever, make notes for yourself, like maybe the character should do this, or talk to them, go,
Oh yeah. Yeah, all the time. I make like little side notes in the margins and stuff like that. And the script is like sacred to me. It's super important. So yeah, I write little, always in pencil because I might change my mind. But yeah, I do. I think the details are super important. So like writing blocking and everything, I generally like write a note. Like it'll say in the script what how you should walk, like the direction or whatever. But there's a certain way maybe you want to walk, like walk slowly, or like I don't know, like move your hand a certain way on your leg when you walk or something like that. Yeah, I like to be very detailed with stuff like that. It's okay.
I'm gonna have like 20 edits in here, just editing Vince out of them.
Oh, it's okay. You're fine.
You know,
So,
I know this is bad. Do you have a favorite film that you've worked on?
oh boy.
Or is it just, no,
Oh,
you've worked on too many good ones that you don't want to?
I really have. I've been very lucky. I've worked on a lot of really, really good films. I can give you a couple of them that's really stand out, I think. Um, I think Slaughterhouse Slumber Party was really fun just because I like movies where I kind of just go to a place, I go to a location, I hang out with my friends, and we goof around, and somehow a movie comes out. Like that's my favorite experience. So that's, I mean, we didn't, I don't want you to think like we goofed off because obviously that movie was very detailed and there was a lot of effects going on and everything, but like mostly we were just people hanging out that had a similar idea about how we wanted this to look, and I had a great time. And so I think that's probably one of the highlights of my career so far. When I worked on Skinless, I think that was probably the most rewarding for me, because we did that movie twice. I don't know if you know that, but like we filmed it. I don't think a lot of people know this. We filmed a version in the fall of 2012, and we finished it and we liked it and it was good. But then Dustin contacted me and Brandon Salkill, who's the lead in it, and he was like, do you guys want to do it again? Because now I have a better location and like better effects. And I was like, I'm in. Like, we loved it so much that we were just like, yeah, oh yeah, we're in. Like, so, and it's a very like emotional and like intense movie. And we filmed it in the like summer, and it was so hot. And one of our locations was an attic, and poor Brandon was sweating through his prosthetics, and just like I was sweating. Like it was horrible conditions and very difficult. And so like I'm very proud of it, because I think we ended up accomplishing it in like 3 or 4 days. And it turned out really well. But we worked really, really hard on it. And I'm really proud of it for that reason, because it was just a set of circumstances that was very difficult. And we pushed through because we loved it so much. And it turned out good. So those are probably my two highlights, I think. But I've met really cool people on every set I've ever been on. I have lifelong friends because of it. So it's hard to choose. And every set is different and good for different reasons. So that was a hard one. But those are the two I'd say that I like come up right now in my mind. I was afraid you were going to ask that. I was like, oh no.
No.
A lot of people do. That's
pretty
common.
I have to ask that.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. That's the thing. But there are things that are prominent in my mind.
I wouldn't say they're your favorite, but they're the standout ones, is what you're saying.
Notable. Yeah, like super, super notable. So yeah.
The one that you did that really stands out to me is that you did a Western.
I did. Calamity Jane's Revenge.
Yeah. And I remember when that was popped up, and like Henrik's like sent me a message. He's like, hey, I need a bunch of people here this day. And I'm like, I gotta work, so I couldn't be there. And I'm like, he's like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making a Western. Oh, what? How do you
that movie was good. Yeah, I'm glad that I did that, because I never thought I'd be in a Western. Like, first of all, I feel like I don't live in an area where Westerns are filmed, so that was strange. It was filmed mostly in New Lebanon. There's a lot of like really beautiful area out there. And I got to ride a horse, which was super cool. Until that set, I was afraid of horses because they're giant and scary, and I wasn't raised around them. So, and one bit me when I was little, so I was afraid. But it was cool because I overcame my fear of horses because I had to ride it. And so yeah, it was a fun experience, and just learning the dialect. Like the dialect was a little weird because it's Western. So yeah, it's some of the ways that the character said things. I was like, this is odd. But so that was kind of challenging. Yeah, I was in a Western. Yeah.
Like I said, it's over there in a pile somewhere. So see,
yeah, it was fun.
This is how I know that my friends have made it and their movies are big, is because at the shop I buy DVDs and resell DVDs and stuff like that. And when I get one that's some like one of yours or something, I'm like, I know this person, it just came in on my DVDs. And then when your DVD started appearing at Walmart, that was like, holy crap.
Yeah. Bulldog was there. Calamity Jane's Revenge was there. There was one recently, and I'm upset that I can't remember.
The Ouija board one?
Yeah, I think that was there. There's another one. I'm so dumb. Why can't I remember? Scarecrow County.
Yeah.
That I'm in very briefly.
But
yeah.
it's kind of funny when you go to Walmart, and what was really funny is because Family Video, I'm walking through there, and I walk by the videos, and I'm like, it was when Bulldog was out, and I was stopped, and I
Yeah.
looked, and I had, and Tina was like, "What's the matter?" And I'm like, "I'm in this movie."
It's a weird feeling, isn't it? And
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, I've had it happen to me a couple times, and I never get used to it. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, that's a thing that happens. I'm always like, oh my God, like every single time not that it's happened that often, but you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
and every time somebody says something like, oh, I've seen you in blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? Like, I have no concept of how much stuff I've done. I have no, until
Yeah.
somebody comes along, and says, hey, look how many things you've done. I'm like, oh God, okay.
Yeah, like
So,
I didn't realize how many you had done till actually when we started talking about doing this interview a while back.
mhm.
I was going through, and I was pulling stuff off the shelf, and trying to find your movies that I had. And I'm like, oh, I got a whole bunch of them. And I go to your IMDb page, and I'm like, oh, I don't even have like a quarter of them. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I've been very, very fortunate.
yeah,
So,
you are definitely out there for the
well,
world.
thank you. Yeah. I've slowed down quite a bit in the past couple of years, just because, well, obviously because of COVID, but just because I wanted to. It's been some hectic stuff has happened in my life, and I've just been kind of like trying to figure that out and just get back to. I'm tired. Is the thing is that when you love something so much and it ends up taking energy away from you instead of giving you energy. That's what was happening, and I was like, if I can't do my best and be my best on these projects, then I need to take some time away and kind of like take care of myself so I can be 100% when I come back.
Yeah.
So
It,
yeah.
even if you love something, and it'll wear on you. Like I love doing this show, and then like I had to take some time off because I did like a bunch of episodes in a very short amount of time, and that's
Yeah.
not including my other show and my store and my kids and my life. And I'm like, I looked at him like I taken I did the Halloween episode, which was my horror hotel episode, and I was like, I'm taking some time off till after the 1st of March. You're my first
Right.
interview back. And then I've got I got 6 interviews over the next 2 weeks. So I have almost an interview every other day.
Wow.
So
You're busy.
I'll get that all booked, and I'll be into December so I can actually slow back down again. Because I'm one of the people that I'm not a big Christmas fan, so Christmas tends to suck the life out of me.
Same.
And it's like,
It's exhausting. Yeah.
and then,
If I have to hear Mariah Carey again, I swear to God, I am that person from that meme, the Mariah Carey meme that's just like, oh no, like here it comes. Or all I want for Christmas is you. Like I can't.
I hated that when I worked at the mall. Every
I can't.
Christmas, eat 4 or
I work
5.
retail too. Yeah, it was rough. Like any Christmas songs I hear, it's like PTSD. Like, nope. Nope, nope, nope.
That's
Yeah,
what I like
people
about
are
owning
weird.
my own business. I listen to what I want to listen to when I
Right.
listen to it.
Yeah, that's a perk.
Yeah. Actually, I can't say that. He decides what I'm listening to sometimes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
At least it's a
Actually,
family thing.
yeah, I hooked up the other TV on the other side of the shop with him and his Roku, so he can go over and watch his stuff. I'm like, now I can watch stupid videos on YouTube and listen to music, Vince.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good setup.
Oh yeah, I love it. Like love him to death. He drives me nuts some days.
I understand.
No, I don't know what you do for your regular job, but have you ever had people come into your regular job and notice you from your movies?
When I worked in retail once, but now I work in a hospital, so no, people don't recognize, obviously people don't recognize me, and I work like in the basement, so nobody seeks me out. But yeah, it happened to me at the mall once too when I wasn't working. Somebody came up to me I think it was like an FYE, and he was like, oh, are you in Babysitter Massacre? I was like, yeah, that's me. It was odd. It was very sweet. He was very nice, but it was just like, oh Lord, Like I just, you never expect that kind of stuff to happen. Yeah, it happened to me and at my retail job too. And it was an older lady, which I think was weird. I don't remember how. I think her son may have helped out with like the sound on a movie, and she was like, "Oh, I've seen." I forget what it was. I feel really bad because it was years and years and years ago. But yeah, she was like, "Oh, I've seen you. You were so good in it." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Yeah, it's only happened a couple times, but it's been positive. It's never been like weird. You know what I mean? Because there's always a chance that it could get weird.
They definitely. And I gotta go there.
Okay, sure.
You've done a lot of nudity in a couple movies.
I have. Yes.
Luckily, you
I
didn't
have.
get the creepy people from watching those movies.
No, I've been super lucky that I really haven't had any creepy situations. I think the weirdest it's been is I've been at conventions and somebody has like tried to like chat me up, and then it got kind of creepy and I was just like, "Oh, like you've seen," and they'll just tell me. Well, it's really weird. Like it's happened a couple times. Somebody has been like, "Oh, I've like I've seen you naked," and I'm like, "Real cool, guy. I don't know where you expect to go from here, but like, like, why are you telling me this? Like, this is a good, this
Great
is not a
pickup
good,
line, dude.
not a good approach, man. Like, yeah, it's just been, but it's only happened a couple times. I've been, it's surprising too with like the internet. You think that people get very bold on the internet,
Oh yeah.
so yeah, I've been very lucky. I've had pretty respectful people approach me. It's never been weird. But yeah, that's always been a concern. It's like when I was doing it, I was like, "Oh, here we go." Like, like what's this gonna do? And actually, I've been very lucky. So no creepers, hardly any creepers.
Nobody could have creepers. I
Yeah.
I had a weird experience years ago at Horror Hound. I had this guy come up to me and he's like, "Have you been in a movie?" I'm like, at that time I had been in a movie, but it hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man," he goes, "I like your look." And I went, "Okay." He goes, "Do you want to be in a movie?" And part of me was like, "A snuff film? Is that what you're going
Yeah,
for?"
like you're
Creepy,
going about
dude.
this the wrong way, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
the dude was making like a mountain people Manson family movie, and he thought
okay.
I looked, because I had more hair at the time and stuff. He goes, "You look like you could be the cult leader," and I'm like, "Okay."
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I'm like, "Okay." I talked to him for about 30 minutes, and logistically I couldn't do it because they were filming in like Southern Kentucky, and they were filming
Mhm,
Saturday afternoon or Friday afternoon till mid
mhm.
Sunday, because everybody else had regular jobs, and I would have been driving like 5 hours one way to
Yeah,
film, and then turning around driving 5 hours back. And I was like, I'd love to, I appreciate it, but I
yeah.
can't do that. And to be honest, I
Right.
never heard the movie came out. I don't do nothing. So the guy could have just been a creepy guy who wanted to get me down to Kentucky.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to. I think maybe that's also kind of why I stuck with working with the same people, because I mean, you just never know. Like you never know who's out there doing weird stuff, and you don't want to be taken advantage of in any way. So, yeah, probably a smart move. I'm glad you didn't go there. That would be bad.
Well, that's like when I shot the movie with Andy. He's like, "I need you to come
Mhm.
here," and I'm like, "All right." So we drove, and was literally had been a nursery, a plant nursery at one point, but it was falling apart, and it's literally was in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, "Is Andy bring me here to kill me?" And then I start
Like,
then I meet the other
hmm.
people on the set and stuff, and I start getting my makeup done, and it's like, "Oh, okay," because it literally, I was like,
Okay.
I'm nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That can get kind of creepy. You're like, I don't know what we're doing, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. So trust you, buddy. Like
Oh yeah.
that can be alarming.
Then I get shot in the head in the movie and film my scenes, then try to get as much of the stuff off me as I could. And then I went home because I'd been up. I worked a third shift job, went and filmed, spent all day on the set, then came home, ate, and went back to bed. So I'd been up for in the ballpark like 48 hours. So I still got
Wow.
half my makeup on, and I'm like, and we
Nothing better than
rolling.
sleeping in your makeup. Yeah.
It was bad because I got up the next day, and I got up later on. I look at my pillow, and I hadn't got it all off, so there's still stuff stuck to my pillow. I'm like,
Sticking. Yeah.
ew.
You're like, I guess this is my life now. Like,
Well,
thanks.
I did a magazine shoot for a friend, and I was a zombie in it. And they did the makeup on me, and I have a bite on my face.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there and they're like, okay, this is gonna come off real easy. And I'm like, nope, nope, nope. My skin's all pulled out like this. I'm like, ah.
Yeah. Some of that stuff can really stick. It's really uncomfortable.
That's one you in Watch This
Mm-hmm.
as the creature.
Mm-hmm.
That had to be a hellacious cleanup.
Oh yeah. No, it was one of the worst just because all of that like latex and paint and the nails and it was just so much work, like hours and hours of makeup. Like the shower was a disaster, and then shaving cream to get some of the blood off, the blood and everything. Yeah, it was hellacious. That's like I said I love doing creature work. I do, but like the cleanup is always the worst. Like, so I'm like, why did I do this? Like every single time, but it's always worth it. But yeah, it's some of that. I've been in some sticky makeup situations, and it's never fun, especially when it gets in your hair and you're pulling your hair out, and it's like, you're like, I love my art, and you're just like clumps of hair falling out. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
What was it? Kill That Bitch. I got that one. That was I'm trying to remember who you were with. Was it Haley?
Yes, Haley.
Yes.
Yep.
You did a werewolf. And the fact that they did a werewolf movie with almost no budget just blows my mind.
Yeah, and it's good. It's well acted, and yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's a different take on it for sure.
Yeah, we did that. I showed that at one of my Halloween things we had at the shop. Like after close of the shop on Halloween, I would show like 3 movies for and that was one of them. And they're like, where'd they? I was like, I think that's filmed in Dayton. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's relatively close.
Yeah, Toledo, but it was close. Yeah.
Like people are making movies like that. Oh yeah, dude. I was like, hold on a second. I walk over to the other side. I'm like, boom, here's a stack of DVDs from Dayton or this area.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's amazing.
It's impressive.
Let's see. Who would you like to work with if you could work with anybody?
That's funny that you asked that because you mentioned her earlier. Barbara Crampton, I would love to work with her. I think she's brilliant, and she's really influenced me in my acting, so it'd be super fun to just like talk with her. Like we don't have to work together, just to like meet her and talk to her. It'd be super fun, because I think I've modeled some of my characters after some stuff that she's done. So she's always been a big influence. And then let's see. People are going to tease me about this. Bill Moseley. People are going to tease me about that. I think he's actually a very good actor and very intense. And I met him once at a horror hound, and it was like the only celebrity I've ever met. And I made an idiot of myself because I love him. And so I just was a complete idiot. I was like, I really enjoy your films, and I just want to say that I think you're super talented. And I was just an idiot. And he like looked at me and he was like, do you want a hug? And I was like, I do. And he came around the table and gave me a big hug. He's like, you're doing fine. I was like, thank you. So yeah, I'd like to. I think he'd be super cool to work with.
Me and Tina were just talking about Bill Moseley last night. Well, because she's getting me to try to listen to Ice Nine Kills, and they're showing their videos, and he plays a detective in the music videos that they're doing. And I was like, it's weird looking at him and thinking that's Otis. That's Chop Shop. That's this. I was like, because if you look at him outside the costume, outside the character, you would never know he's this horror guy.
You wouldn't know. He's
No.
super, like, he has, I mean, having met him briefly, he's super gentle and like super, his eyes are like super piercing blue and just he's a very nice person. And, you wouldn't think, you think he'd have like an overwhelming darkness to him, but he's just a nice man. Yeah, you think so, but yeah, he's just a sweet guy. So
that's what's funny is I've noticed, I've been doing conventions between their horror movie, comic book, sci-fi conventions since the early 90s. So like 90, actually like 90. And I've met all these different people over the years. It's always funny. It's because it's usually the villains that end up being the nicest people. And the heroes can be the biggest jerks.
It's true. Yeah. Isn't that odd?
Oh yeah. Except for Darth Vader. That guy was just an asshole. Sorry. Met God, I can't remember his name now. The guy who was in the suit as Darth Vader, and just bad experience. I'm
sorry.
Yeah, is what it is.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah. Then like 5 minutes later, I met Clive Barker and Doug Bradley, and both of them were super nice to me. And cool. I had a blast. I was like, okay, that makes up for it.
No, that's good. At least you had a nice balance point. Like it wasn't just all bad.
Yeah. And to be honest, I've never really had any bad like situations. I've had people I've just kind of like walked away from them because I was like, yep, that guy's a jerk. I'm out of here.
Like I don't want any part of that.
Yep. Of all people, the guy who was Don West in the original Lost in Space.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it wasn't even like he was like a jerk to the girl in front of me. And I was like, dude, I was like, that woman's your bread and butter. I was like, you haven't done anything in 40 years. I was like, you need to be nicer to people. And I went and because I had gotten my picture to get signed, I threw the picture back across the table and I was like, nah, I'm out of here. I walked away.
Nice.
I was like, whatever, you're not that important, dude.
So, yeah, like calm down.
Oh man. But then I've had
all that ego.
Huh?
All that ego.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm like, how do you have that much ego when you haven't done anything? Except of,
I don't know.
Yeah. That's like some of the people that, I mean, I've heard horror stories about some of the actors who are the zombies in Walking Dead. Like
really?
Yeah, I've heard some horror stories about people who are like, yeah, they think they're important. And I was like, you're just a background
character.
Yeah, you're in makeup. No one knows who you are, but they're at every convention. They're out there on the professional con guests, as I call them now. People that's their living.
Wow. Okay. I mean, sure. Just don't be a jerk.
Yeah. I mean, I can't fault you if you go to conventions and that you make a good living, but don't be a jerk to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
oh well.
Yep. People will learn. Oh well. What was funny was we're gonna go way back to the beginning. Is we were talking about how, casting you, we were like, man, I was like, everybody should just cast Erin. We just put her in everything. I was like, if you're making a movie and you're local, you need to just hire Erin to be in your movie.
My cat's here. Sorry.
Mine was up there. Now we have two. One's my wife's, one's mine. And then what's your cat's
name? Winston.
Huh?
Winston. Yeah.
Mine's Maze. I don't know where Maze went. Lucy's up there. Maze is somewhere.
Oh, here he goes. All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. Okay, cat butt. All right. Yeah, he's not going to go anywhere. This is now where he lives. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm listening.
Maze just lurks on my, like, when I'm sitting there, and then she wants to pet me. I'll be sitting there like watching TV like this, and she'll come up and she'll like start stroking my beard. I'm like, oh, come on, cat.
She's like, hey, what you doing?
What you doing, Dad? Yeah. And it's funny because everybody's like, what's your cat's names? Like Maze and Lucy. Like, what'd you name them? Like, we were watching Lucifer.
Oh, I love it.
So,
That's awesome.
so that's what they got named when we got them. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, we have the, like I said, we have the ongoing, I guess I wouldn't say joke, but the ongoing thing is if you got to make a movie locally, you got to hire you. So
Oh,
because
you guys, that's so sweet.
because
No, that means a lot to me because I work really hard and I am just happy that people enjoy it.
yeah, because
That makes me really happy.
yeah, you bring a lot to even the smallest character you do.
Thank
You're
you.
not phoning it in. You're legit there doing the best you can with what you with even if it's the script isn't the best or whatever, you're still doing the best you can with what you have.
In my mind, like when somebody hands me a script or casts me, I take it really seriously because this is this person's dream. This is this person's like brainchild. This is something they're passionate about, and I like, why wouldn't I take it seriously and do the best I could? But I guess some people don't, which is very upsetting. But yeah, I mean I feel like it's my duty to like make the character come alive as best as I can. So thank you. That's very, it means a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's fun, and it's a friend of mine, James Garrett. We do a lot of conventions together and stuff like that, and it's funny because he was wearing the Slumber Party Massacre T-shirt. I was like, I know them people. He's like,
cool.
and
Yeah,
James is a good guy, but we got on a
Go
discussion
ahead.
about you there too. That was funny because it was one of the ones where anytime we talk about locally made movies, your name pops up. So it's just one of them like,
Oh,
oh, yep, Erin, right there.
yep. It's and definitely in the last like 10 years or so, I've definitely been around.
Now, you said that you're slowing down. Is it just you just want to look at go, okay, I want to make 3 really good movies a year or 2 really good movies a year, or
Yeah, I really want to find, even though I do my best with everything, I want to find, I find that as I get older, it takes more out of me to do something. I can't just crank things out as fast as I used to. Sadly, it's just a reality. I don't know what's up with that, but that's just the way that's what my brain is doing. So I gotta respect it. So yeah, I'm looking for projects that I like really, really, really connect with, and I think that I can do, really well. Like something I can devote, things I can devote a lot of time to, because it's not really about, like I said, I think I was talking to you before. I'm not so like career focused right now. It's more like I'm my career is important to me, but I'm more like creatively focused, if that makes sense.
yeah,
So it's not about how much I do, it's about the quality of what I do and the project as a whole instead of just like my part individually. So yeah, I think I'm just kind of getting old, slowing down a bit. And I think, I get tired easily. And I just think if I'm running on empty, I can't be the same Erin I have been in films past. And I don't want that to happen. So,
now do
yeah.
you got any upcoming projects that you're working on now, or stuff that hasn't come out yet, or
Yeah, I have, I am working on another Western right now. It's a comedy Western. I don't know how much I can say about it, but I do know that I can say that I'm playing you're gonna laugh, the matriarch of a brothel. So it's gonna be really interesting. But yeah, we've started filming that, and we probably will be filming it into next summer. So it's gonna take a while for it to come out. I'm trying to think of other things. I always hate this part because I always feel like I'm missing things. like and whoever made the thing is going to be mad that I forgot their thing. But I can't really think of anything else right now. Anything too exciting. Yeah, that's what I mean by taking it slow. I think everything I've been in recently is out and available. So yeah, no new stuff coming up besides the thing next summer. So
You got any
yeah.
conventions you're going to, or any festivals or anything?
Uh, no, I don't think so. If something comes up, I'll try to go because I've missed being around people since this whole crazy year has happened. So it's been forever. I think it's been like 2 years, 2 or 3 years since I've been to a convention. It's been a really long time, and those are my people. So I like I like to just go and hang out with people who love the same stuff I do. So no, I don't have any appearances or anything like that anywhere. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty much just staying not busy. Like, just
Did you
kind of
get
like,
to that the festival over there in Columbus? That was it last weekend? It
mm-mm.
was the one that we used Slaughterhouse Slumber Party was at last year. It was the same thing that was this year. I didn't know if you
Oh,
I,
really?
yeah, I had it.
I,
They sent me the little update things, and I was like, I didn't have any plan. I had stuff planned, and I was like, crap.
yeah,
I needed a
I got
warning.
to get more social. I've had, I need to get out there more. Like I said, it's been a really weird year for everybody.
Oh,
So
it is. Mine's
yeah,
slowly getting back to normal. The shop
good.
wise has been normal forever, but I'm actually doing conventions again, or at least the little local comic shows.
Mhm.
I started going to concerts again a while back. Got a concert next weekend. It's gonna be
Cool. That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, no, this is good. We should all slowly start to responsibly turn to back to normal, hopefully.
I hope so. I kind of it's I am a it was funny because Tina was giving me crap because when movies started being out in the theater and regular basis, not like getting one and like 3 months later you got another one, and then because
Yeah,
during the entire pandemic I saw like 5 movies. So, and I'm a go to the movies like at least every other week guy. I love going to
yeah,
the movies. Um, and then all of a sudden, was it last month? It was like week, movie. I'm like, you don't understand. This is great. I can go to the movies. And Tina's like, you've
this is
been going to
awesome. Yeah.
movies the entire time. I'm like, no, I didn't. I went and
Not
seen
like I
five
used to.
movies in a year. That's
Yeah,
wrong.
it's not right. Yeah, it doesn't feel right. There is something special about going to the theater.
Hmm.
I do like it a lot, and I miss it. So
Yeah. We just went and seen Eternals this week. Last week it was what was last week? It was Dune. We saw Dune, we saw Eternals, we saw uh the Bond movie, we saw Venom,
mm, cool.
and
That's awesome. So you've
yeah,
been busy.
yeah. And then this week there's nothing. And then next
Mm.
week we go back to Ghostbusters. So
Oh man, I'm so excited for that. It looks so cool.
oh yeah, I am pumped for that one.
Anything like Egon centric is excellent because he's my favorite Ghostbuster. So I know it's about like his family, and I'm like, I'm
Yep.
into it.
I just love that they play tribute to Harold Ramis, even though that he
Mm.
couldn't, It's like, oh my god, that's great.
It's gonna
The
be like really emotional, so I'm really excited about it.
I somebody posted that they got to see it, and they're like, if you don't cry by the end of this movie, there's something wrong with you. And I'm like,
Yeah, like you're broken.
yeah. I was like that. I'm not gonna lie. It was about I don't know a few months back. Me and my buddy Jesse were talking, and I was like, I know I'm getting old. And Jesse's like, well, he's almost the exact same age, and he's like, yeah. I was like, I'm getting gray. I was like, I get emotional at movies or something like that when it hits me.
Yeah,
I was like, because I was always one of the guys who's like, okay, I'll
they
laugh or whatever. Nothing really hard ever hit me. And now
yeah,
I can't even remember what movie it was, but it was like, yep, nope, not crying, not crying.
yeah. You get more soft hearted as you get older,
Oh yeah.
usually. Yeah, me
I,
too.
Ironically enough, the show that kills me almost every time I watch it is not this season, but last it was Doctor Who. And there's some
Mm,
episodes that are so like stab you right in the feels. It's like, oh man, really?
Yeah. I heard I should tackle Doctor Who. I haven't. I'm finishing Breaking Bad right now, and I'm very upset. It's such an upsetting show,
I
but
never got into it. I tried to
man,
watch Breaking Bad, and I couldn't get
yeah,
past that first season. And everybody tells me, "Oh, you gotta get past the first season."
yeah. It gets more intense, but
Yeah.
I don't know. The characters are confusing. It's like I hate you. No, no, you're fine. No, I hate you. I hate you. No, you're fine. Okay, like it's very back and forth. I think so. It's fun.
Oh man. And then there's so much stuff out there that I'm watching right now that there's so much content on everything. So going back and watching an old show is hard to do. Unless it's like
Yeah, it is.
a 30-minute comedy I can watch, because those I just leave on in the background, like if I'm doing something. But
Mhm.
I just watched the Squid Game, and
Mm.
that was a hard watch. I mean, you're just like getting emotionally involved in this dude's life.
I haven't
um,
seen it yet.
you ain't
I'm
seen it?
super.
Oh,
I'm probably gonna try to. Yeah, I'm probably gonna try to watch it soon. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. So.
yeah. And then Tina and I have a documentary thing that we love documentaries. And we watched the one on Brittany Murphy. And we
Oh
watched,
boy.
oh, if you get a chance to watch that one, it's messed up. And then
Sad. Yeah.
we watched the one about the weird church that started out as a weight loss program.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and it's like, why do they put these stupid good documentaries on?
Yeah.
I'm a documentary nerd. I can't help it.
Okay, it's fun to learn.
Excellent.
I like it. I like them too. So I just watched one on Bob Ross.
Oh,
My boyfriend and I just
was
watched
it
it.
happy?
Watched it. Yeah,
Was it Happy Little Accidents or something like that, or whatever it was?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, I really thought that they were gonna like expose him to be some kind of like jerk. No, he really was a nice man.
No.
Just yeah. But it was mostly about after he passed away and like what happened to the rights to his stuff and stuff like that. And it's actually kind of messed up. So
Well, I know that there was a thing I watched a while back, and it wasn't connected to that documentary, but it was like people talking about, how nice of a guy he was.
mhm.
And they're like, so how much do you make doing this? And he's like, what? I don't charge these people nothing.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, don't he goes, oh, I make money, I live fine. They're like, well, you don't make any money? No. He goes, I'm giving back.
Yeah.
This is what you do.
It's like what an incredible human.
Yeah. It's like the Mr. Rogers one where you just expect Mr. Rogers, and then he's just this super nice guy.
Yeah.
People, you're like, there are really people that are just nice,
Nice people. Yeah. And it's always like makes your heart feel good. You're like, oh good.
It's bad is that a friend of mine works for a production company out in California,
Mhm.
and they did a movie, and they bought the rights to a Kurt Russell movie, and he met Kurt Russell and stuff like that, and I'm like, I have to ask, and if he's not, just don't say a word. I was like, is Kurt Russell cool? And I was like, because I
Yeah.
don't have it in me to find out that Kurt Russell is a jerk. And he's like,
Mhm.
one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. I'm like,
Oh,
thank
okay,
you.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that can destroy your dreams right there.
Luckily, like all the people that I've really kind of like looked up to
Mhm.
have turned out to be really pretty good people. Even if they're
Good.
not like, just great people, they're really kind of down to earth people.
Mhm.
Um, and it's kind of fun to find out. You're just like, oh my, don't let him be a jerk, don't let him be a jerk, don't let him be a jerk. And they're like, no, he's just a regular
Okay,
guy.
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's always a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
So.
It's fun.
Mhm.
It's weird having a friend who has met these people, and then you can
Mhm.
ask them personal questions like, are they cool? And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh yeah. Or I found out one guy I kind of liked can be a kind of a jerk, but then you're like looking at his stuff and I'm like, I could see that. But
Yeah.
he's not, he said he wasn't a jerk, but he was really kind of into himself.
Mhm.
And that's Adam Green, the guy that does Hatchet. because
Gotcha. Okay.
he's a nice guy, but he's a
Mhm.
little too into himself, is what I was told. And I'm like, okay. Because I'm not going to say he was bad to be around or anything. He's just kind of really into himself.
A lot of ego. That's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, yeah.
But I guess if you built, you know, a kind of an empire off of, you know, next to nothing, and that's what he did. So I give him
Yeah.
credit.
Should be proud. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to be able to do what he's done, but um, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I'm gonna get ready to let you go because I don't want to keep you on here
Okay.
too long. And Vince
Oh,
has
you're
got the
fine.
thing turned up again. Hey Vince,
I've had
turn it
a
down. Turn it down. Turn it down. Thank you. But you know, it's
thank
been
you.
fun talking to you. We got to do this more often, and
Yeah.
either I get down to Dayton, or me and Tina can come down there, go grab something to eat or something, or get you up
I would
here,
love that.
do something,
I
get
would love,
dinner.
absolutely. I'd love to see you guys. That'd be awesome. I think the last time I saw you in person, was it Nikki and Dan's wedding?
No, we've seen since then. That was when we
Have we?
saw over in Columbus when I went to see your
Oh, I'm
movie.
an idiot. That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot.
yes. And I think we've
Just
seen
that.
since then.
Yeah. So
But
I don't know
yeah,
if I should. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's
But
one
I
of the
mean,
ones
like,
where, or some Sunday once I get more things settled down here, we can actually do an interview in here, and you can
I would
come
love
out
that.
and hang out and have dinner.
Oh man, I would love that so much. I'd love to see you guys. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
you get to
Thank
meet the
you.
Vince.
Oh, I'm into that. He seems super cute. Super cool. Very
Uh,
cool.
so, all right. Well, I'm gonna let you go for tonight, and you take
Okay.
care. And
Thank you so much for having me. I
You're
had a
welcome.
great
Thank you
time.
for being on the show, and I hope things work out and you get, you know, and like I
Yeah.
said, if you ever need to talk,
Aw,
email or text me or whatever, and we can chat.
sweet. I appreciate you.
See ya.
Okay, have
Take
a good night.
care.
Bye.
Night.
You too.
Bye. That's all for tonight's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. Thank you to Erin Ryan of the Dayton area with her movies and her awesome interview. We hope to have Erin back again in studio. So, as always, the Group Therapy Podcast is brought to you by Are You Game, located at 124 North Sunset Drive, Pickle, Ohio, 45356. Your home for everything nerdy and geeky. So, Vince, turn it down. Thank you. Take two. As always, the Group Therapy Podcast is brought to you by Are You Game, the best comic book collectible magic video game shop in all of Pickle, Ohio, located at 124 North Sunset Drive, Pickle, Ohio, 45356. Follow for us at, Group Therapy TV on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow us on YouTube and Podbean. You can watch my other show, that's produced by Group Therapy TV Podcast, which is Saturday Morning Serials. Every Saturday, we bring you the best of 70s, 80s, and 90s cartoons, the best. And we will have more guests coming up in the month of November. I pretty much have November booked into December. So you guys hang out, and I will see you on the next episode of the Group Therapy TV Podcast. Later.